Hi, it is Maddie again with the Innocence topic. Today we're going to be talking about my broader opinion about everything I've spoken on in these last 7 episodes of this series involving the Innocence Project. I really want to dive deep or look at it very clear and see it like a cohesive opinion. While my last 7 episodes have given a look at the Innocence Project by viewing the statistics and numerous specific cases that the Innocence Project has worked on with a look at the broader effect on society, today I want to condense this, or all of these views, into a cohesive video so that we can truly see the impact and importance of their work. What I think is the most important fact is that while they have, of course, saved so many lives and their families, they have also made broader systemic change. By freeing these people, it's shown just how deep the faults in our justice system run. Not that we weren't aware of this before, but I can see how so many people who were on the fence on the ethics of the death penalty have had their minds changed when the Innocence Project repeatedly came out of the woodworks to prove that person who the public thought was absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, guilty, really wasn't. Obviously, the Innocence Project can't take all of the credit for destroying the public perception of the death penalty because many organizations, institutes, and advocates have been working against the practice for decades. But the publicity that the Innocence Project was able to give the issue had to have helped in one way or many. They have, of course, worked with policymaking by changing the standards and models for different investigative tools like eyewitness identification or the application of forensic science. I can say one thing for sure, though, is that the next time I turn on Law & Order SVU and the main witness says they would never forget that face, I'll have questions about the actuality of that statement. Because through all of this, it's been shown time and time again through exonerations and other proper experiments or peer-reviewed papers that eyewitness identification is not reliable. Human memory is malleable, to say the least. It's unfortunate, but what we think we know or remember is open to suggestion and interpretation. That has nothing to do with the actual facts of the memory, like environmental factors. Maybe you're sure you saw a specific person, but it was from a distance and in poor lighting. Are you absolutely sure? At the risk of destroying that person's life and their family's lives? At risk of incarcerating the wrong individual for a crime and letting the actual criminal go free? Well, while they showed these kinds of evidence as unreliable, they put forth new evidence, DNA. This was absolutely not a single-handed venture that took the study of science by storm, but they contributed to the study with one goal: finding individuals wronged by the system and helping them find their way out of the maze of the United States judicial system. This predominantly affected mostly low-income people who were more often than not people of color, which is sadly not too surprising given the history of the United States, especially involving race. And I wish I could go through every exoneree of the Innocence Project, because with every person I researched, there is a story that broke many families with intricate details that present faults in our system that just keep mounting in every case I come across. Some of this is upsetting, but I'm trying to remain positive in the fact that while there have been faults, even with the Innocence Network that spans across the United States and into other countries, more good than anything has come from this organization. My only hope is that the organization can grow so they can help more people, because while they've freed many, it's undeniable that there are more innocent individuals languishing in prison while the rest of the world moves on, passes them by, some forgotten until or even after death.
The co-directors of the Innocence Project at Cardozo School of Law and Simpson lawyers Barry Scheck and Peter Neufeld.
And trade is the truth. I mean, you're proving beyond a reasonable doubt that these people have not committed the crimes that they were convicted of.
Oh, not only that, we know in the OJ case, we find that people who really committed the crimes.
Yeah.
How could that be in the year 2016 in America?
It can be for a host of reasons. Number one, a lot of the cases rely on eyewitness identification. They're often wrong.
How did your role in the O.J. Simpson trial impact you negatively and positively? Well, it's a mixed bag. I don't think the Simpson case did anything good for the American criminal justice system. The only silver lining was the critique that we made of the evidence in that case is that we didn't contest the reliability of DNA testing. What we pointed out is that the ways that they collected and handled the evidence was a disaster. And oddly enough, while there were plenty of people that were very upset by the acquittal, I think that among certainly law enforcement, people understood that what we did was important.
Are you glad you got involved?
Boy, this is a tough question. It was a very, very painful process. Just from a personal point of view.
Police think they have the right guy, and they coerce false confessions out of innocent people.
In terms of critiquing the handling of the evidence. And that helped us advance, I think, our reform agenda and helped us a great deal in being able to have credibility to clean up forensic science.
Police engage in misconduct, prosecutors engage in misconduct, jailhouse informants, to save themselves some time, will lie and say anything in a court of law.
Let me say one of those books. Jeffrey Toobin wrote a book called The Run of His Life back in 1996. And in that book, he characterized you as the best lawyer and certainly the hardest working lawyer.
That was the best lawyer. That was the title of the chapter.
A lot of the defense attorneys, particularly for the indigent, are swamped and overwhelmed with cases and can't provide the time and effort that it warrants. The problem of wrongful convictions is enormous. We only deal with a small slice of the cases where DNA can be used to prove with a gold standard that they're actually innocent. But if you simply extrapolate from that, you're talking about thousands and thousands of innocent people in prison for felonies they didn't commit, and probably tens of thousands of people who plead guilty or are convicted of misdemeanors that they didn't commit.
Things like that. I don't think that's done very much good for the criminal justice system, and I think it's hurt.